Good evening. It's time to call the Morehaven City Council regular meeting to order for November the 19th, 2024 at 6 o'clock. Roll call, Sean,
Here.
Alicia,
Here.
Mark,
Here.
Brad,
Here.
I'm here, Ashley,
Here.
Steve,
Hello.
Larry, and Brad, and a house full of people. We'll do the invocation tonight with Alicia. I'm gonna let you do it, and Sean, could you do the pledge?
Well, hurt this one's really.
Oh, yeah, well, give her a break.
Dear Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you for this day that you've given us, Lord. I just thank you for everyone here that's in attendance, and that you watch over us and guide us as we continue to work and do what's best for our community, Lord. I just give you all the praise and the glory. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Item number 3, do we have any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda? We have one that we need to add. It'll be 4A. Special presentation. Do I have a motion?
A second.
Motion by second. Motion by
Motion by Alicia.
Motion by Alicia, seconded by Sean to add a special presentation to the agenda. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Discuss and or approve the following meeting minutes. October 1st, 2024.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alicia, seconded by Brad. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. October 15th, 2024, regular meeting. Motion by Mark,
Second.
seconded by Sean. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. October 28th, 2024, special meeting minutes.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Brad,
Second.
seconded by Alicia. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. October 31st, special meeting minutes.
Motion to approve it.
Motion by Sean, seconded by Mark. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 4A. Mr. LaRue, you want to come up? Mr. LaRue's here tonight. We're going to present him with a plaque of appreciation for his hard work for over 2 decades here in the city. Jim, it's hard to fill your shoes, and it's hard to get somebody with your qualifications. So thank you very much.
Well, it's been a pleasure to serve you all. It's been many years of success, I think, for us together. And I appreciate being able to serve for you. Enjoyed it very much.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to take a picture with him?
Yeah, can we get a picture of Mr. LaRue? Right there.
Right in the middle, you're the center.
You're the center. Y'all get in here close. Not that close, Mark. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
It's
Mr.
been a pleasure.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you for everything you've done for us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Really appreciate it. And Jim wants so bad, you're still more valuable than Steve.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Everybody, past mayors, they all.
Yeah. All right.
All you put up.
Okay.
Item number 5, reclassification of positions to the FRS Senior Management Service classes, SMSC under FS 121.005 or 055.
In the backup there, there's when Mike Jones came on board as the public works director some time ago, they put him in the senior manager service class in FRS. We can't put it done or whatever, but that did happen. There's also a question, there should have been 4 positions, the city manager, the city clerk, and deputy city clerk should have been added. They've never been added. So like I said, that's going on since that point in time. When Brad came on board and they assigned him to that position in FRS, the Public Works Director, we were still contributing as a regular class, the percentage that's required for regular class. Up till recently, we got some correspondence from FRS saying, no, this is wrong. You know, he's in the senior manager service class, and you're paying the wrong contribution. No one here knew that position had even been, reclassed in FRS. So, but nevertheless, we had to go ahead and follow the FRS direction and make it correct. So while we were doing that, we came back and there's the 3 positions that should have been added previously. The city manager, the city clerk, and deputy city clerk were requested that they be added to the senior manager service class. If the council here approves tonight, we have to go through a process. We have to advertise in the paper, and we have to do registration with FRS for those positions. It will change the contribution rate, but like I said, that's where those positions should have been if they had put the public works director. Yeah, they put the public works director previously.
According to the state. Is that correct?
Yes.
And Brad's at 32% now?
Contribution, yes. He will.
So I'm assuming that the other 3 would be the same way?
Yes.
So it won't change?
The salary, nothing changes. It's the contribution that we make to FRS for that employee. It's going to go, the contribution rate is going to go up. The percentage is going to go up.
You're looking at an additional 52,000 a year with all 4 of you.
Yeah, possibly. All 4 of them, yes.
We can handle that in the budget, Larry.
We will be obviously coming back with a budget amendment to increase the FRS contributions. But we should be able to cover it within the budget, yeah.
And the reason that this was done in the past with Mike was he did not get city insurance, correct?
For what?
There's one person here that was here during that period of time, and that's their recollection of what happened is that when he came on board, he had health insurance covered elsewhere, and he wanted that the premium that the city was making, he wanted to get that directly. They said, no, we can't, we don't do that. So there was another, I guess, this idea came up to move the position into the senior manager service class, which is, for example, the county has those, each local organization is allowed up to 10 positions in there. The county itself has, I think, 5 or 6 in there. Each constitutional officer usually has the constitutional officer and their second in the class. They went through this past year reclassed some of those, but that's I cannot say with certainty that was the cause, but that's because it's speculative, but that's it's obvious that there was other positions that were done that should have been done at that point in time, but it did not happen.
So he gave up his health insurance to have that contribution made. Is that right or not?
He was covered by health insurance elsewhere.
My bad. My bad.
Where's it coming from?
Yes. He was covered by health.
Sorry, Mark, I thought I shut off for a comment. I even read the signs. Sorry, Clay.
It's Christmas music, right?
The ice cream truck.
All right. So do we need to make a decision on this tonight?
Yes, we probably do.
Well, we don't have a choice, right? We have to do this?
No, you don't have
Or we
to.
have to,
Well,
Brad, you do. The other three, you don't.
But if you don't, you know, you're I don't know, I don't know what you're possibly, you're being selective, and if the other's qualified, you don't do it, then, you only did one out of that, but is there, is there an issue with, I don't say fairness or whatever, but it's.
So this is along with their health insurance, correct?
The city pays, on our policy, the city does pay health insurance for everybody, yes, for all employees.
Right.
Yeah.
So the increase will be extra.
The increase will be the
Yeah.
increased contribution to FRS. Yes.
You normally would have, that category on par. In other words, the level, everybody would be at that level and be on par, not one person. And then the other two, no, especially that in the charter, you have city manager, city clerk, so you have certain critical positions. Like,
In the backup there, the criteria for the senior management service class is it has to be a managerial position that does not have civil service protection. It has an organizational unit or has a responsibility to affect or recommend personnel budget expenditures or policy decisions in their area of responsibility. Well, by the charter, the city manager, you can terminate the city manager without cause by majority vote of the council. So you do not have civil service protection. The city clerk is the same way. The city council could terminate the city clerk without cause with majority vote, so that they did not have civil service protection. And in another section of the code, the department heads can be terminated by the city manager without cause. And so that it takes away the civil service protection, whereas all other employees in the city fall under the administrative code or the personnel manual for policy. So these are all what you call at-will positions. So they do not have civil service protection.
so like back in the 90s, council had designated myself as a senior management position, but they took that away from me because I was deemed to be an independent contractor as opposed to an employee. But it was a very specific legal argument. But so you actually been saving money since the 90s because you don't have to contribute.
So do you recollect any of this happening?
Historically, it was supposed to be, yeah, there were supposed to be certain, like I said, because I was likewise designated. It's just I lost they took me out of the Florida retirement system because I'm deemed an independent contractor, even though I'm at will and duties and I'm mandated to do certain things. But yeah, my recollection is that there was supposed to be on par, but I guess it never came to fruition. But this goes back to the 90s because I lost they did an audit like in the early 2000s, and that's when I lost my. I assumed everything else was being done at that point. So.
well, I personally don't think it's fair if we're contributing that to Brad and not our other management positions. I mean, that's how I personally feel. I mean, I know we didn't budget for it and it kind of got thrown at us, but I think it's only right to. Got everyone.
I mean, I see your point, Alicia. It's not fair Brad gets it, and not Larry and Alicia and, or Ashley and Melissa.
So
But
this should have happened, what, 2 years ago, you said?
this, yeah, when we brought Brad on, it's when it started.
That's what, that, they just flashed it, they just.
Well, I thought,
Mhm.
I actually thought that this specifically for city manager and city clerk, it already was done from, like I said, the nineties. Because I recall Mike Brantley, I believe, I could be wrong, but I do recall him being senior management when he was way back when. And I recall Maxine as well being designated senior management. Now, whether or not it got put into fruition, I don't know, but I do recall there was.
The only one labeled in FRS is Public Works Director.
But to me, you can't get much more senior than Larry and
Yeah.
Right,
Ashley.
right.
And they don't automatically, even though they qualify, they don't automatically start. You have to go through the process of, just, for example, the county this past year moved the HR director up to the senior service class. So you have to go into FRS, request that position, and be designated that. You have to go through the process where you advertise it in the paper, and you have to approve it. So you do have to take action to activate that status on a particular position. That, was never done here, just that one position in that.
Mike Jones, I remember Mike Jones.
All right, council, what's your pleasure?
Make a motion to qualify Larry, Melissa, Ashley for the SMSC.
Brad second.
And Brad?
Brad second.
Yeah, okay. I'm writing. Okay, motion's
He's
been,
already qualified.
yeah. Motion's been made by Mark, seconded by Brad to qualify the city manager, city clerk, and deputy city clerk for the senior management position level. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
How did they miss it so long?
Like I said, I specifically remember.
Thank you,
Bye,
sir.
Jim.
Jim,
The part of the reason it was missed too is that when Brandon was here, he started as our plant operator. So and then
He didn't directly into
he
that.
didn't, he never really was really put in as public record director, even though he took over the duties. Some of the duties, he never was reclassed in FRS. So that's how they missed him. It just, like I said, it occurred now because, like I said, they put him in that position, and like I said, and obviously it took FRS
This long,
about a
2
year and a half to get.
Yeah, but there was, if I'm not mistaken, there was,
in between there.
yeah, between Mike Jones and,
Yeah, I remember Mike Jones
And-
getting it specifically.
Yeah,
because
Mike
I was-
Jones is the one that was created from what we went back and found.
But
okay.
mine was at the same time.
Item number 6, ratification of purchase
What I-
and installation of cover roof for the clarifier at the waste treatment plant
Water treatment plant.
in the water treatment plant in the estimated amount of $21,820 as provided by the quote from IEC.
At the last meeting, we brought forward the quotes for Basquin to do the framework and put in and repair the tower itself, and also help install the cover when we have that. This quote is for the actual cover itself, the 21820 of the manufacturer of IEC. They're the manufacturer, so this quote is for the manufacturer of the the cover itself, and then they will be here assisting with installations. And this is requested to come from ARPA funding as part of the water treatment plant upgrades.
Motion to approve the purchase.
Motion by Alicia,
I'll second.
seconded by Sean to approve the purchase of $21,820. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, ratification of payment in the amount of $17,250 from pay app number 12 to Ridgedale and Sons for the downtown improvement project.
This is the final payment on the project. This is for the as-built and the video of the thing. So this will actually close the project. This was the last remaining closeout item.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mark, seconded by Brad to approve pay app number 12 to Ridgedale and Son in the amount of $17,250. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, ratification of payment to ULC in the amount of $44,196 in reference to the agreement for emergency services related to Hurricane Milton.
Prior to the Hurricane Milton hitting, we had Brad had reached out to ULCS. We got a quote to bring in 2 crews that arrived prior to the storm hitting, and said the crews were here and worked through the storm, and then after doing some repair work. So this bill of $44,196 is for getting the crew here, putting them up during time, for the time they put in after the storm hit, that kind of thing. And this payment will be turned in to FEMA as one of our projects to be getting reimbursed for Hurricane Milton. But we have to have the paid check
Receipt.
to be able to file that FEMA claim.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mark,
Second.
seconded by Alicia to approve ratification of payment to ULC in the amount of $44,196. Is there any questions? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, report of officers. A, city managers.
As you're aware, we had recently approached Connecton previously about doing a feasibility study to put broadband, build a broadband network in the city. This has been going on for some point in time. We had a monthly, they have local, up at the county, we have a local meeting on how broadband's coming. The individual from Connecton, the business manager, is advised that they do have, they completed the feasibility study. They're running it through internal review, and hopefully can get everything signed off on. They estimate that they should have everything finalized the first week of December, and they will be requested to come in and do a presentation. So that's kind of where it stands right now. But if you remember that basically they would build an internal system for fiber optic and the broadband, and then eventually at some point in time after the system is constructed, we would lease it back to operate it as an Xfinity or Comcast would, or that type of operation. But the city would actually own the system.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Okay. Anybody got anything for Larry?
Did you ever talk to the electrical engineer? Did he ever set up a date for
It's tomorrow. Tomorrow after-
tomorrow at 2?
we have virtual meeting with him.
Okay,
Brad did, we did send him off the plans for both the school and the bus barn.
okay,
And he has those and we're supposed to be.
okay. So he's already reviewing them and then he'll discuss with y'all what he finds or what he sees or whatever. Okay, thank you.
Okay, is that it for Larry? Anybody got anything for Larry? Steve?
Okay, so following up, coincidentally with Mr. LaRue being here, we have reached an agreement with Jason Utley. Formerly his company is Planning Analytics LLC. So I had drawn up a short agreement, had sent it to Mr. Tibbs. Mr. Tibbs had sent it to Mr. Utley. Mr. Utley made comments. Many of his proposed edits were, within normal, didn't change the money or anything like that. The only, I think, tangibly asked for is, which he should be anyway, if he does travel to the city, it would be my hope at some point that we can go virtual with some of the appearances from time to time, but if he had to travel to the city, that he would get normal compensation for that. So, but other than that, I think it's good to go. So I'm going to recommend approving it. I think you've already, if I'm not mistaken, we had already approved moving forward with him, and then the rate is $125 an hour. Angela, our financial manager, had contacted me. There's an upcoming Women in Public Finance organization that is, I guess, having a meeting, and she was asking if CAPFA would do a sponsorship at the silver level of $750, and this would be exposure for CAPFA in a nationwide organizational meeting. And she's actually she is disclosing she's a board member of this organization, but typically we've done some sponsorships before when we believe it would be cost effective, and I think the exposure we would get through this Women in Public Finance sponsorship would be worthwhile for the $750. So I'd ask that you guys ratify that, and we can.
Isn't that something that needs to go through CAFA?
No, it can be done by the city. You can ultimately reimburse it, but I would say it's easier just to do it from the city. So I'm asking for silver sponsorship level of $750
From the city, not from
from
county.
the city.
And it could be paid back through CAFA.
It can be, but yeah. So I need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mark, seconded by Brad to grant $750 to Angela for a silver sponsorship
For women.
for women in
Public finance.
Public finance. Thank you. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries 4-1.
Here's the literature if you want it. So we were supposed to have had code enforcement this last, I think this week or, yesterday, but all the hearings are canceled and moved to December the 9th. So, which was fine because we had the one case that I didn't have service on for Mr. Baez, and now Ashley's provided me with some physical addresses to try to serve them. So the next code enforcement hearings will be on December the 9th. And follow up more or less related to that is I think it was last week, I had a conversation with Terracon, which does the underground study for contaminants. And if you had recall, in that particular area, on the Alvarez property, there were some underground contaminants already identified. The city has some property that runs through there in the form of a street that's never been of record. And then more importantly, on the Ogletree property, they were never able to gain access. So now that Ms. Ogletree evicted Mr. Baez, she's able to to give Terracon access to do the study, because what they believe originally happened was, historically, because these properties are next to the railroad, there was some fertilizer company usage, and that, in fact, that was a problem with the city's potable water wells way back in the 80s. But so once they get access onto the property, they'll be able to finalize their underground study. It's all being done by grant money. And they believe that they could also identify grant money to do the cleanup, because we know there's an issue there between Alvarez, the city, and Ogletree. It was just being not able to do the study. So I had forwarded the paperwork giving the authority to do access for the underground study to Ms. Ogletree, and I communicated with her daughter Brandy, and they're in the process of filling it out, getting it back to me so I can get it to them, and they'll try to conclude this study and perhaps get that, the goal being to clean up any underground contaminants, hopefully through grant money. And then we'll then be able to, because if you recall, those properties are zone multifamily. So once there's the contaminant issue resolved, those properties would be marketable and hopefully add to the tax base at some point with multifamily use, because between Mr. Alvarez and Ms. Ogletree's property, you're talking, I think, roughly 3.5 to 4 acres worth of property. So I forget off the top of my head the density for the multifamily use, but it would be a significant positive impact for households in Moorhaven. So I'll continue working on that.
Does that fall, just out of curiosity, does that fall under Brownfield?
Could, yeah,
Okay.
could. Terracon could. There's different avenues they can go, but yes, in general, it's a brownfield grant. Does the underground study. Now, how it gets cleaned up is another story, but they believe because Moorhaven specifically has been identified as an area of need, that there would be positive grant money that can be obtained at that point in time. Problem is, we've been hung up for a while, not being able to do a full study. So I'll keep working on that. And I'm working also on the trademark for CAPFA. And we started the application this week. I recall that Angela might have done the design for us, but I have to get a clean specimen sample to, when I file for the trademark, to file for that as well. So that's all I have.
Okay. Does anybody have anything for Steve?
Was still interested in what we're gonna do over there where Alvin's Bake Shop was, and you don't know who owns the property. I just hope somebody doesn't get hurt in there. It's really looking so sorry.
I'll talk to Colleen about that and we'll try to coordinate.
That whole block area is nothing but junk, including a couple of homes there.
I know it's private property and I know there's some legal issues here with that. Can we, as a city, go in there and at least take that oak tree that fell down and try to clean the lot up a little bit?
Someone's gonna get hurt there.
The problem is you if you don't do it in the proper sequence, you won't get compensated for the labor and the other costs. So
The eyesore, it's the whole area.
I'm speaking with the owner
okay.
Okay.
about that tree.
Thank you, ma'am.
I didn't hear what you said.
She's trying to talk to the owner.
Good.
Is anybody, anything else? All right. Ashley,
I don't have anything.
you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
Anybody got any?
to see our permanent lighting outside.
Mhm. Anybody got anything for Ashley? Okay. Craig A. Smith. Miss Connie.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. For the record, Connie Van Ash with CAS Governmental Services. Tonight, I come to you to bring forth the legislative appropriations document to make sure that you have any changes, to get your blessing. If it's good to go, then we can move forward and getting the copies here just for the delegation hearing. And I'll be in Tallahassee December 2nd. The House meets during that week and I introduce it to Representative.
On my Palm Pilot.
The following week, December 9th, will be the Senate. They'll be having their committee week and then I can work with Senator Brawl's office. Today was the day of orientation for all the newly elected officials in Tallahassee. The House met and the Senate met and they did their ceremonies and swearing in all the new officers and the newly elected officers. So do you all have any changes to this document? Any additions?
Jake, that seawall still on here, buddy.
We're getting that seawall.
We're not giving up.
It's becoming very positive.
We're hoping that the grant comes through before the legislative session.
Well, or before the forms are,
Yeah.
the House forms are not out. And the speaker did send out a memo. They're changing the way they policies and bill filings. And I'm targeting one of the bill drafting deadlines was January 24th. He didn't specifically say appropriations in the language, but I'm targeting January 24th to get the House deadline. Their form is not out, but once the forms are out, I'll fill them in and then make sure that they're sent to Larry for review and Ashley in case I missed anything and before submittal to the House. And then they also they're still doing the attestation form. So we'll have that once everything's filed and published. So, and I'll follow through with all of that. Do I need a motion or is it just a blessing? It's good to go? Okay, all right. Very good. So, and the other part of my report is for the grant administration services. The DEP grant for the downtown stormwater improvement, we're good to go on that. I sent her the as-bills today. She says she's fine. She doesn't need anything further. There is a final quarterly report that'll be due to the Office of Policy and Budget. That'll be for the period in December. But I already have a draft prepared. Once I have engineers report, and they're working on it. Then I'll send that final report to the Office of Policy and Budget with the engineer's report. I'll give them a copy of the as-built. They normally don't ask for that. It's really just routine on investments. And I don't know when you're gonna see, Ashley, it'd be what, a little over 192,000 for that last payment request to DEP. So maybe in a couple weeks it'll show up. We're working on the Florida Commerce part. Now that this payment request is done, we'll get all the other deliverables to Florida Commerce and everything through the system and get that one finalized. All the quarterly reports have been done for the period in September for all the grants, the two downtown projects, Lee Hall, and vulnerability assessment. I've attended a few of the meetings on the vulnerability assessment with the engineers regarding the modeling and everything that they're doing. So they're in the middle of that. Those next tasks involve a lot of time to do the flooding model and meeting the Florida statute. So that's underway. And we're waiting to hear on the grant applications. So DEP hasn't released anything either. So, and you all have any questions for me? All right, we'll be in Tallahassee.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. Appreciate it.
After watching Saturday afternoon, I'd say there's not a whole lot going on in Tallahassee right now.
Mr. Mayor, I forgot one thing.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to be out of town next week. So for the joint authority meeting, I know I had to run it last time, so I won't be here to physically run the meeting. I could call in if there's any questions. But do we know we're gonna have a quorum because they're,
Well, the county.
They're swearing in
swearing
that-
in,
They're
right?
getting sworn in that night.
but it'll be
After.
after our meeting, so they won't be taking any position until
So we have to have six.
we have to have six
six to get a
people.
quorum,
So
And they have three that, they're currently in and two that are gonna be sworn in after, so.
I'll be here for sure.
So we'll be,
I'd give it 7.
but I'll call in just to make sure if there's any questions, but I just wanted you to know that I won't be here to run the meeting. So
So how do we do that?
you can run the meeting.
Okay. Just asking. Uh,
I don't think there's,
I thought he was gonna run the last.
I don't believe there's really any issue on there other than the standard reports and pay the bills. So
all righty. Brad?
We did run into an issue with the new truck, and the new sanitation truck, let it down for a day and a half. The electric over hydraulic valve and stuck out at the landfill up in the up position. I was satisfied with the technician that came and their response to getting it fixed. That was over a week. And we're gonna have little things like that happen. I like those. On the garbage, people still aren't calling their horticulture and their household stuff in. People that spread the word, some people pay you to tell your neighbor if you see something out there, hey, have you called that in? It's sitting there. Can you get a work order?
I did repost that today.
Well, people, word of mouth, you know, a lot of people don't be on Facebook. Word of mouth helps a lot. If you see anybody out there, somebody out say, hey, they'll pick it up when you call. That would help out a lot. Still having a few issues with the cans, but it's getting better. Just say it's getting better. It's gonna be an issue for a while, I guess. Me and Joe got me some prices on sprinklers and stuff. We looked at these sprinklers here in the city. I recommend just redo the thing, tap into the 6-inch main, listen, meter the valve, the control, go over that old system, running and patching it. It's take a lot of time. We'll have to really walk behind trencher anyway to run some wire to these decorative lights and cut and something under sidewalks. God, that's be a good time to do everything. Get it all done, get the sprinkler system fixed and all.
How long do you think it'll take you, Brad?
I kind of want to look at when's Christmas on Hatchie, and I don't want to make a mess out there. Trenches all over the place, soft, and people walking around out
I think we have that on our calendar. I'll look.
there. I don't know if to do it.
December 12th?
I think it's the 12th.
I would like to do it maybe right after.
Yeah.
Lines here and there where the trenches.
that means that week issue.
And
Mhm.
I've been looking at some mulch in the rubberizing next to go under the equipment, where the fall area is, and I think nice little railings that go around. It's like a bumper. It's a rubber type bumper, and you get the rubber. You get it in all kind of colors. It's a little bit expensive, but they have 20-year lifetime warranty. So it's-
They'll stop this every single year.
Keep the idea around, but I think we need to go ahead and do it because it looks like
Yeah.
buying mulch just last.
No.
And depending on the price, that could be a CAPFA thing, right?
So,
Capital
so
improvement.
it's the borders would be around and then we would
No,
just grass or
the
sod.
Rubber mulching
Or
stuff
whatever.
for that part, for the fall zones.
I think that's a good idea.
I think it's $40 a bag. You probably get it to a cheaper in bulk. But
Yeah.
It's 20 years. That stuff lasts. That mulch sits out.
6 months.
No, that don't last 6
If
months.
that. It looks terrible right now.
It grows weeds and insects get in it. The rubberized stuff is supposed to take care of a lot of that.
Okay.
I recommend that we go ahead and do that.
Just get us a price, Brad, and we'll make something happen, I'm sure.
And then the next project will be median. Some of the sprinkler work, some of them grow through roots, some of them load over, ran over, mashed. There's gonna be another project to be done,
Okay.
not gonna be just to fix it here and there, it's gonna be a redo.
All righty. Anybody got anything for Brad?
Notice you did some sign work and that looks good.
We'll-
Good signs.
We're ordering some more signs.
Yeah.
That'll be a-
Have you got any more of them caps, Brad, from the poles that are stuck in the water and down here at this first dock? They were missing a couple for quite a while now. That's gonna rot the tops of them out.
Really?
The pilings.
I think I do have a few.
Did you get them right wrong, please?
Order some extra last time.
Thank you.
All right, does anybody else got anything for Brad? All right, thank you, Brad. All right, item 10, ratification of payment of bills to Independent newspaper in the amount of $820.84.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alicia, seconded by Brad. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval of the bills in the amount of $175,765.04.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Sean, seconded by Alicia. Is there any questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ashley, please pay the bills. Citizen comments. General concern speakers are limited to 3 minutes.
I got a couple things.
All right, you got 3 minutes.
I got a couple different topics, so I may need a little more than 3 minutes. I have the first thing on my list. I'm glad that I listened because a lot of my questions were answered just right while I listened. Because the park lights and then the irrigation on 27 in here was definitely something that I was concerned about. One of the things I had was, have we ordered the dumpsters yet? That we spoke about ordering the dumpsters.
We did.
All right, very good.
Right. It was on the bill.
Okay. And did we manage to get a letter to the Florida League of Cities about the holding ponds?
Thank you. That was on my.
Is-
Yeah, did you get that?
The county at their last meeting, or maybe the meeting before, approved a well field protection ordinance. And it identifies, like our water treatment plant and the limitations they're trying to pose on the not the set offs and all that. So they have, I think if they have one public hearing and one reading on that, and it's due to come back. So I think that's kind of what, without being from the holy ponds to what was it, right, issues of welfare, that's welfare protection. I don't think anybody has moved on the actual, water storage issue yet. I think the county had it on it, was going to discuss it at a couple different meetings and have pulled it. I don't know if it's due to opposition or whatever, but I think we were always anticipating that if once they pass something, we would try to piggyback it. I think, but I don't think they've ever fully moved it.
Well,
They started discussing it and then,
You're on my 3 minutes, Larry.
I'm sorry.
Becky coming for his three?
No, I'm not gonna count that because,
They,
well, and let's make sure with that, Larry and Steve, and I think this is probably where you should go with this. There's 2 different issues here. There is the water holding area that we want, that we're opposed to that. Then the other issue, the water flow through south, that's a whole nother issue, and we're opposed to that too, but let's about the water holding area first.
Yeah, Mr. Tibbs and I have been talking about it continually, and he thought it was appropriate, and I agreed with him that we hold ours until the county does
Yeah,
theirs, and
yeah.
we submit it at the same time.
They started on one, but they have not started on the water storage.
And I'm actually the one who drafted the letter.
But I know Senator
Walker-
Cross, Senator Cook, and I've spoke to Senator Franklin about it. So there is some activity about it.
But it seems after the Republican meeting at the Bill Connor building last week, that the main road crowd got up there and making stuff, and they're all a little more aware of
Right.
what was going on, and there will be another meeting about this. You can't let the city
But
wait on Richard Pringle.
exactly,
County waits on Richard.
no,
And that's why the counties were, one of the reasons the counties where they're at now.
I agree with you.
You draft the letter. It's something that the council's been asking for close to a year.
yeah, we've been on it a while.
Mr. Eccles, yeah. My recommendation is it's brought up at every meeting, it needs to be taken care of.
Can,
All of us in the city county.
can you reach out to Richard
I will try.
or his assistant or his assistant's
You know,
assistant? But
he's got his hands full with what's going on in Buckhead.
yeah, but at the same time,
But
I don't mean to be rude to Dick about that. And you and I have talked about that. I know, hey,
Because it's been something that should have
Jay,
been done.
you and I are on the same page with this, but I ain't worried about Buckhead. I'm worried about
I know,
Morehead.
right. But that's what I'm saying. You can't wait on Richard Pringle. You
No.
can't wait on another attorney to do city
Yeah.
business.
So what I normally will do now, what I've been doing to get around the roadblock, is I email directly to his assistant Carolyn. Like here are the issues, but I, like for instance, last week had tried to do that on code enforcement prior to the meeting from yesterday, and that was ultimately canceled. So sometimes I'm successful getting through, sometimes I'm not, but I'll make a note to email to her about this particular issue. We're good to go, quite honestly. We've done what we needed to do. I was just deferring, on Mr. Tibbs's belief that it would be better to piggyback with
Larry
Lake
made a
County.
very good point, because that welfare protection, that's something that the residents of Lane Road harped on strongly. So that would probably be some good language. Now, okay, I'm gonna move on. I think I got 3 minutes left.
No, you ain't got to.
I was talking to Ms. Van Ash just a second ago when he was discussing something. It was about the sewer. Are you planning on moving the sewer meeting? Was that what you were discussing just a second ago?
No, but we don't know if we're gonna have a quorum, only because there's only 3.
I know that you can't make any decisions or discuss about what's going on because it falls under CCPWA. I wasn't aware if at this point in time, if we're charging Creighton's company for not being done. I believe in October, we were supposed to start charging them. I don't know if you are charging them, I don't know if there is a number, but it's obviously clear if you go over there that whatever infractions you are putting on them, it's clearly the dollar amount, if there is a dollar amount, is not affecting them whatsoever. Because if it did, they'd show up 8 o'clock and they'd be there on Saturdays and Sundays to finish this project. Now Creighton has agreed to make a list and show us what we broke over there to the residents of that place, but this list is continuing to grow. So I would recommend, if you do have to change the sewer authority meeting, to please change it before Thanksgiving, because the residents over there are showing up and they're being very, they're just being very standoff alone and let them do their. Upset. There you go. It's gone too far. For example, Mr. Browning, when I say it's to try and have this sewer meeting, yesterday I was driving a full-grown track hoe in the asphalt of their property where it did not need to be. Spun the track hoe around and went right back out to where the job
On
was.
asphalt.
On asphalt. But Mr. Browning, the thing is about this asphalt is they just repainted all this asphalt last year. Now, this is something that will be on their list for the sewer authority to fix. But the longer that they're over there by them not being penalized, we ain't got their attention. David Miller wasn't at the last meeting to give a good report. It needs to come to a head at the next meeting. Now, I did notice today that it looked like they got it hooked up. They're kind of filling the holes back in, but it's time for some proper answers. We still within the parameters of the grant?
This is the US 27 corridor.
Yes, ma'am. I know you filed an extension.
Yeah, we're still within the parameters of the grant. I
But
just,
they have been declared in default. They are getting,
Fine.
yeah, in fine, yes.
I don't know. Drive it.
Daily, weekly,
I thought it was David, but I'm not,
and who would that be? Gene and David? Okay.
yeah.
Those are the
Irrigation
commissions that
Smith is
you guys-
enforcing that, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
My last real quick thing, and I'm gonna go back here for a second, and a lot of you know this, that have, especially you, Mr. Brown, and Mr. Decker. In the years past, anybody that had property in the city of Moore-Haven, they lived in the city of Moore-Haven. I'm gonna bring up Earl Wade for an example, okay? I'm gonna bring up Art LaFlamme. These people own these rental properties that all of the residents from Hialeah and Miami that own now. We need to look into what's called a rental inspection. Are you familiar with the rental inspection, Mr. Ramoni? And it goes along with exactly what your city clerk is doing now, is if you're supposed to have sewer in front of your house and you move out, we're not turning the meters back on there until that home is hooked up to sewer. One way to get around it. Now, your rental inspections. Had Mr. Ramoni and Mr. LaRue several years ago when Felicia was here to go around and beef up our ordinances and code violations for derelict properties as far as the roofs, missing shingles, paints, windows broken out. And we've never really took a hold of these Avenue F apartments. We've never enforced that on them. A rental inspection would be, I swallowed that same bug, Mark. Rental inspection, just so you'll be familiar with it. A rental inspection would be if the person moves out of apartment A and I decide I'm gonna move in apartment A, we have the right to go in there and make sure that there's a smoke detector, that there's a light cover right there, that there's a hot water heater that's operable, that there is a box over the panel boxes inside the washroom. That gets you inside the property to look around to make these inspections, but at the same time, it gives you the opportunity that you need to paint this building, you need to put a roof on, you need to get your trash picked up, you need to get these cars parked in the driveway instead of around back the way they all are parked. A rental inspection is something that the city needs to look into because the people that are renting these properties now, they're not from here.
I had meant to bring that up in my report. We went back and looked and found an old checklist they used for the rental inspections. And we're going to try to get it going again. Like I said, I don't see it anywhere in the code that they have a particular rental code section, but most of the things that they're looking at here is like from a safety issue, fire alarms, those kind of things, but they don't, obviously not certifying that the property is okay to turn electric on or anything like that, but they're looking at all the safety things and visible things that are wrong. But
That could be the new planner's first project.
yes,
And that, at the same time, that gets you on the property to walk around, because we always have the excuse, it's private property, we can't. That gives, and the code enforcement officer she doesn't have to, or whoever the code for, it can be any appointee from the city. It can be Brad, it can be Mr. Tidd. They all three can go over there to Avenue F together and make a list. But that just gets you on the property that now that you're walking in, holy cow, they still got their septic tank in the ground. That gives you the opportunity to get there. To maybe recoup some of the money that we had spent in the past trying to beef up the
Do
code.
we have people on septics that have sewer in front?
They've
My last
found a
question
couple.
is,
Because we need
do you have a
Well,
code
they
enforcement
had
list?
septic on the property. They never
Yeah.
cleaned it,
Very good, very good.
but they're on sewer.
Okay.
Jay, buddy, you're past the 3 minute mark.
Well, I got, we've been missing some meetings. My
Yeah.
biggest concern is that sewer meeting. Please pay attention to that. Thank you for your time.
I got the impression from the county meeting the other day that they're going to try to have the November 25th meeting. They're probably going to want to have the December 23rd meeting, because even though maybe on Christmas Eve, they have some projects that are coming through that they're going to meet the sewer. So I do think the county's going to want both the November 25th and December 23rd to have the sewer meeting.
how do we find out when that meeting will be, if it's been canceled or?
You can always call up here to City Hall. We can let you know.
You can let us
Yeah,
know?
in case you, because normally stuff like that would get posted online or something, but if you don't normally get on there, you can call up here and we can let you know.
City Hall,
Yes, ma'am.
verify it.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Mhm.
Anybody else? Any other citizen? All right, mayor and council to give reports. Sean,
I don't have anything.
Alicia,
Good.
Marcus,
I had a phone meeting with Kappa auditor. I didn't know about it, and we had a couple of discussions, and they wanted to know if Angela would be here for quarterly meetings with us.
Quarterly, no, but we can have her, we could arrange it. She's physically coming, December 17th. And we're gonna do a special meeting, I think at 5:30 on the 17th. But that's something that we need to, I mean, she's usually, appearing at least once a month in
Oh,
front
yeah,
of, in
yeah.
front of us for different projects. So were they saying that they want something specific addressed or just to make sure that she stays in touch?
Right.
Oh,
Stay in
okay.
touch, yeah. So I got a question.
okay, Brad?
No, sir. Good.
Okay, I do have one thing. I'm not getting on a soapbox here, but at the October 1st meeting, Larry, Ashley, and Brad, I asked that we get meetings, written reports turned into us the Friday before the meetings so that we could go over some stuff in case there was, because we had some new council people. I think that's the word I need to use, but it would give us not everybody has time to come in here like they should. If we could get those reports, I would appreciate it. Okay, that's number one. Where are you with the audit?
I'm still working with the girl from CLE that's helping us with the bank recs and stuff to get them to match the system. I actually haven't had no communication with her since the other day, and I've been trying to get a hold of her.
Mhm.
So that's where I'm at the moment.
Okay, y'all, if y'all don't, I have approved that Ashley can have a couple days to work from home so that she can have some peace and quiet to get this done. It has to be done by January the 17th. So Ashley, whatever you need, make that happen, please.
Okay.
All right. And I think that's it for me tonight.
The dog ate my report.
Come on, Larry. Oh,
Which one?
Colleen, I want you to, I got something for you, if you don't mind. I'm noticing around town, there's more and more of these houses, and it's renters. That's actually where I thought Jake was gonna go, that are putting in these portable dog kennels. And the ordinance says you can only have 3 dogs or it's more, or it's not a kennel. So I know there's one over here across about 2 blocks over. There's one over on Avenue F where they've got, you know what I'm talking about, they throw up the plywood, stationary portable, yeah, whatever you want to call it. But if you don't mind, start looking at these, cause there's more than, some of them's got more than 4 dogs. And also we need to start looking around on weekends. There's a lot of work being done on weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, from people outside the city that are slipping in here to do some work that is not permitted. And there's a few buildings that are, how do I say it? They're not, I don't even know that they have permits to even be having the shed or whatever they're calling it. I know there's one on Avenue R, there's one over on, I'm gonna call it 11th Street, where, and my theory behind it is, it's a shed now, but if it's got plumbing, sooner or later, is it gonna be a residence? And, yeah, on Orchard. And that needs to be, we need to keep that up, because if not, we'll have people living in here that, you know, we can't have that. All right? Does anybody got anything for me? I'm good.
Miss Connie had her hand raised.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Connie.
I just asked you include Jim and I in any legislative related with Representative Tuck and McGraw, that we, if you could include
Okay.
in that information so that we can advocate appropriately for y'all.
Okay, thank you. Tonight's Steve's birthday, y'all, so wish him happy birthday. So,
So you're 29?
no, and that's all I got. Jack, can you take a picture of her license tag and send it to? All right, I'm good. Thank you. Discuss financial statement if needed.
I got my phone, you heard it.
You got it. Motion to adjourn by Alicia, seconded by Sean. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried. Hey, let's start the meeting.
Yeah, let's start.